Welcome to a brand new International Movie Friends. International Movie Friends is the show where movie friends from all over the world come together to talk about a shared passion, movies, but not only movies, also series and documentaries and everything that's connected to the world of showbiz. My name is Bas, streaming from Stockholm, Sweden. Joining me today is Koen from Gypsyland. You figure out where that is.
Somewhere in Europe.
Welcome, Koen.
Welcome.
We got a lot to talk about today.
Yes.
We're going to talk about a very surprising rumor that popped up about the story of the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die. Yeah, so it's quite
I've heard it. I'm very curious. Yeah.
Interesting rumor they're going around. We're going to talk about the new Tom Hanks movie, Greyhound, getting a release date, and also we're going to watch a trailer that recently came out from Apple. I will review the movie, the Disney Plus movie, Artemis Fowl, and boy, I have something to say about it.
Okay.
Koen, you are going to review the new Italian Netflix series, Curon.
Curon, I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah.
That's a lot to talk about. But before we get into this, if you like what we do this each week. We make movie reviews, we make movie trailer reactions. We talk about old movies, new movies, good movies, bad movies, everything about movies. So if you like that and if you like us talking about it, subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, you don't know yet, of course, but keep watching. Probably you're going to like it, and then just push that like button. Also, let us know what you think of everything we talk about in the show in the comments. Yes. That out of the way. Let's get it started. What I wanted to start with is that there was a lot of news in the last days about movies being pushed, movie events being pushed. Corona is still doing its work, also in the movie business. Just a small sum up of everything that got rescheduled, so everybody knows what the new dates are. Well, the big one was, of course, Tenet, which was originally scheduled to open July 17th. Being the opening of the new cinema season, got pushed now just 2 weeks later to July 31st. But the question is, will it stay on that date? Of course, or will it get more pushed?
A bit of a small transition, yeah.
Yeah, it is to be seen. So now it's Mulan that will be the opening movie, but nobody knows if that one actually will hold up. So Tenet is moved. Then we had The Matrix 4, one that I'm personally quite excited about, scheduled for May 21st, 2021. Now will open on April 1st, 2022. So it's almost a year pushed.
That's a lot.
Then we got Wonder Woman 1984, almost the only big movie planned in August, but now moved.
October, no?
Yeah, October 2nd.
Yeah.
We got the Tom Hanks sci-fi drama BIOS, moved from October 2020 to April 16, 2021. Godzilla vs. King, pushed to 2021. And we got, on top of all that, the Oscars, the big movie event, that got pushed even to April 25th. And I'm not sure if that's a first. Do you know if it's the first time that Oscars ever get pushed to another date?
That I know of, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe people can comment to see if we're wrong, but I think it's the first time they ever did this. Yeah.
I can't remember at least.
No, neither. No.
What do you think? Smart move?
Honestly, I think, for instance, like Tenet pushing back only 2 weeks, I was surprised a bit.
Because it's just
it's like what's that gonna matter? You know, like it would have made more sense. Like for instance, but you can say the same thing. You can say the same thing for Wonder Woman to go to October, because October is again the start of the flu season, the fever season. So we don't know. And for me to move it because they moved from February till April, no, the Oscars now.
Yeah, from February to end of April.
Yeah, it makes sense in terms of like winter to the beginning of spring, but I think honestly for everything it's way too fast to tell. We just don't know. I don't think we know how it will look like.
But part of the reasoning probably for the Oscars is that that of course that there's simple. It's simple. There's too little movies out.
Yeah.
So you got I don't know.
Review. Yeah, of course.
Kissing Booth 2 competing with Free Willy 6 or something.
But they will take everything up until beginning of April then?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what they're gonna do. Yeah.
The good news is the only movie that wasn't postponed and is coming sooner and sooner now. Indiana Jones 5.
Is it though?
Yeah, till I didn't hear anything about it till now.
Because the last thing I read is that
Yeah.
the script writer got replaced again. Well, the director got, of course, already replaced. So
The script writer again?
I think
Oh,
so. The last news, but so it seems like it's a bit troubled production. It's scheduled now for 2022 at the moment.
Where do you see that?
On Google.
Oh, I'm seeing July 9, 2021.
No. If I Google Indiana Jones 5, 2022.
Okay.
And Spielberg, like I said, Spielberg is off the project. Well, off the project as a director, and James Mangold is his replacement, which is a great replacement, I think. Which James Mangold did Ford v Ferrari, and also Logan. So if they're going the route of it,
it's still David Cope writing him, or they replaced him now?
No, they replaced him.
Oh God, that is bad because he'll be perfect for the story, of course.
Yeah. No, he's not doing it. I'm not sure if there's already a new one. I think maybe it's only Kasten.
Kasten?
Kasten is on the scenario.
From Star Wars, of course.
Yeah. John.
Son,
John, who did Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
Han Solo.
Trouwens,
here.
You hear the song now, from the bar. Sorry?
Do you see the shirt?
1 second, sorry. I was looking at IMDb. Mos Eisley, nice, shipping is selfish. Awesome, nice.
Mos Eisley Trading Company.
Oh, nice. I had today my Top Gun shirt on, but I changed it in the shower, but I thought it was too much,
You save it for the end of the year.
Exactly. I'll put like the whole jacket on, the aviator.
Oh God, you're gonna go all in, aren't you?
I don't have any of that, but
by then you probably have.
Yeah, I always wanted the cap. That cap.
Yeah.
No, but it's strange because I remember it was very dear to Spielberg. Was very excited about it. I didn't even know that he was replaced. He took off.
So it seems like there's some trouble around the production. So it remains to be seen. How it will go, if it will get pushed further, but back to the main topic. There's not much left in the cinemas.
No.
Like we had Tenet coming up. Well, the question is, will it remain on that end of July date? Then August is quite empty with Wonder Woman moving. Soon we will be out of movies.
Mulan. Sorry, Tenet. What is it? Are there more really big movies in October coming?
In October, we got the French Dispatch coming.
When is the movie from Wes Anderson coming?
Yeah, that's then French.
Oh, that's the movie.
Dispatch.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. And then we got, but of course in October, that's for sure, we're gonna have the Mandalorian, which I am very much looking forward to, and I'm actually planning, Koen, if you're in for it, to do a episode review instead of a series review. We'll take it episode by episode.
Is there any news about the length of the episodes? Did it change?
No, not yet.
I'm very curious. I hope they make it longer.
Oh, before that time, Koen, I can recommend you to see the Clone Wars, because apparently one character from the Clone Wars is going to pop up in the Mandalorian, which is Ahsoka Tano, which is a very important character in the Clone Wars. And they think that she has a bit of a small role in this series. But she's played by Rosario Dawson, who's quite a famous actress.
Exactly,
so they think they're going to use it as a testing ground to see if she can have a spin-off series.
Okay, nice.
That's
I'm curious.
In September, by the way, we're getting The Kingsman and Candyman, which is like a horror movie by Jordan Peele, or Jordan Peele was involved in it.
Oh, a third,
Yeah, and we get A Quiet Place 2. Which is quite one.
They already finished it, though, I think.
Yeah, it was also scheduled for February or March.
Yeah.
Because I remember that I watched it 1 week before Quiet Place 2. came in the cinemas, I watched Quiet Place 1 because I felt like, okay, I have to see it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
I really loved it.
Yeah.
It's so impressive to me that those guys are like apparently a very warm, honest to God couple. You know, they seem like really two legit people.
Yeah.
And, he directed the first one as well, no?
Yeah.
Nice, very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to the second one.
So we got some things still on the schedule, but yeah, it remains
very little.
How much will stay there if there's more getting pushed.
But what is the reason you think that? Because of course, Corona makes the whole world stop. Means also that there's no reason they can release now movies, and they start to come. But it means also because Matrix is for, of course, they didn't finish it yet, the shooting, so they had to prolong it. That makes sense. Yeah. But should they have way more movies already, like almost finished?
Yeah, but I think a lot of movies also are getting pushed because they want to wait. Because of course they want to wait till they know for sure that there's enough people that go to cinema and that are not afraid anymore to go to cinema.
No, that's one thing, but they're not scared that some movies are gonna miss, are gonna be past the hype or past the importance, relevance.
Of course, that's the danger. Like with a movie like James Bond, that marketing campaign was already fully ramping up. And the question is, like, often those kind of movies have contracts with the actors to do a marketing campaign and will Daniel Craig? Well, probably because of Corona, he will be available. But
it's his last movie, of course, as James Bond said. So yeah, it will be...
exactly. But they will have to pay extra to have him do another marketing campaign.
Oh, bad for him. He has a year off and he gets money.
Yeah,
that's strange.
It brings me, actually, I had it later in the schedule, but brings me to news item number 2. Yeah, and that is that rumor that I've.
Yeah, you have to tell me now. And the people.
Yeah. So news item number 2 is about a rumor that is going around about a story about the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die, which is coming out in November now, half November in the UK, in Europe. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit of a wild rumor, but so if you want to be 100% spoiler-free, people that are watching, if you want to be sure that I'm not going to spoil anything now, then just mute a bit. Don't go away, but mute it a bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the rumor is that James Bond will become a father in the new James Bond movie.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So they found a way for him to retire, or Wow.
Yeah, and that's a very large part of the plot of this movie.
Wow.
They base it on that there's apparently like call sheets, so with all the information about the shoot for certain days were going around on eBay. Yeah. And on one of these call sheets, there was a scene shot in Italy, and there Dr. Swan, played by Lea Seydoux, was having a scene together with...
I hope she's not the mother. She's really evil, no?
I'm not sure. If you look at the trailer, but she's having some scene with a child called Mathilde, and apparently some insider now confirmed that kid, a 5-year-old kid, will be the daughter of James Bond. Lea Seydoux was with James Bond, right? The character of Lea Seydoux, the Dr. Swan one.
But it was always a bit of a strange relationship, I remember.
Because it seems from the trailer that she has something on James Bond, if I remember well. So that might.
But if you think about the name Mathilde, what is the first thing you think in James Bond terms?
I don't know.
M.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Of course, it's possible, but yeah. Nice. It's a very big thing.
Yeah, and well, the rumor was like, okay, Daniel Craig wanted this to have this emotional last part. But yeah, it's without any reliable information for the rest. It's all just rumors going around, but it's strong rumors. And by seeing the trailer, it can make sense actually.
Yeah, that's funny. Like you remember when Star Wars, the 3 months before the last Star Wars movie from the saga came out, and the rumors were very strong that I forgot his name, the young kid that plays Darth Vader when he grows up.
Anakin.
Yeah, but the actor, the older one.
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen, yeah, there was really strong rumors that he would appear.
Yeah.
And they first said he would appear like really like a role, then they would say he would be a Force ghost. And in the end, he wasn't. Spoiler.
Yeah,
he was or wasn't. He wasn't in the movie. But so that's the funny thing. But this rumor sounds a bit more legit, actually. So I think it's very interesting. Nice.
What would you think about it? What do you think about if it turns out to be true? Like James Bond, this detached character, all woman's man.
The problem for me with the Daniel Craig version of James Bond was that some of the movies were very good made, especially the one with Judi Dench. That Bond goes back to his roots with the old beautiful Aston Martin and stuff here. But then, very good movie. Quantum of Solace was one of the worst Bond movies I ever saw because the story didn't. It was like, what were they fighting about? About water in a desert somewhere? It made no sense. And the problem for me was that before you had all the James Bond that you had, even Pierce Brosnan, which for me was a very good James Bond, he was charming, he was making a lot of jokes, and since Daniel Craig it became way more serious.
Yeah.
But I liked the Casino Royale was the first one with Craig, no?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite movies because also Eva Green is very good in the movie. Le Chiffre, the bad guy played by Mads Mikkelsen, is an amazing bad guy. So I like the serious tone because it was really epic, the movie. But then they kept the seriousness, and I started missing the humor. So they added it a bit back, of course, with the young Q, which is I like his character and also the actor. But if they now go back in a way that they do it more emotional, I think it's nice. James Bond is for so long; it doesn't always have to be the same. If you just take key ingredients, of course, you can play. I think they should play more around with it. They can. Also, they have to choose, of course, a new one, which that's going to be something very special, I think. But
but it suits maybe also better with these times, so that he becomes a bit softer. Like the man of today is softer, and maybe in the 90s
he's more
popular still.
Yeah, James Bond could even have a beard nowadays, like.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, like you said, like when Daniel Craig started as James Bond, I was quite angry that he was blonde and had blue eyes because for me, James
like,
charming British with dark hair and dark eyes and British.
Also, the issue that Daniel Craig is a man, he looks. Unless you hear him talk, because he has a perfect, nice English accent, but
true.
He looks more Russian than English,
Yeah, true. Yeah,
that's what German or Russian or like more that side. And I had also a problem with that at the beginning because you go from this super classy, handsome man like Pierce Brosnan before and Roger Moore and Sean Connery, then to this really pumped up, not so good looking or different looking man.
Different.
Different,
Didn't he play a German in Munich? You saw Munich also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw that movie before. I think he played the German, right? Yeah.
I don't remember him so good in the movie. I remember the other movie with him, Defiance, I think, or when they Defiance, I think the movie's called, where he's a group of Polish Jews. I think they're hiding from the Germans in the forest for I think the whole war or something. And he was he's a good actor.
Of course, but he proved himself to me. Like I was skeptic. That's how I started my story. But by now I think that he's a good James Bond. He's still for me different, but he plays the well.
But I think it helped a lot in the movie with Judi Dench when he went back to his roots. That helped him, I think, to really establish his image again as James Bond.
Yeah, that was a great movie. So James Bond being a father.
Oh my God. Changing diapers. Oh no, she's already older, of course. But
she's older, she's 5. Yeah. But what do you think about it? Do you think that's a good decision, or do you think James Bond should always keep being this bit detached all woman's man? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Cheers.
Then we move on to the next news item, and the next news item I had was about Greyhound, a movie that you are quite anticipating, I believe.
Yeah, Tom Hanks and World War II. For me, that's like a win-win situation.
We have to do a Tom Hanks broadcast at some point. Yes. Also, that guy had so many great stuff. Well, we talked already before about this movie because this was, of course, officially scheduled to be, I think, released in May this year, but then Corona happens, and also this movie got pushed first, and in the end taken out of the cinema schedule at all, and moved to Apple. Apple
paid
TV.
70 million or something for it.
Yeah, Apple TV Plus paid 70 million for the rights, and now it has its release date set, because before it wasn't known yet when it would be released. But now the release date is set on July 10th.
Okay.
So we were talking about it before. Movies that get pushed, and there's not much to see. This was one we can see this summer, July 10th.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So in Romania we have Netflix, we have Amazon, and we have I think they have a new HBO now, Max, coming up. We have the HBO Go still, so I think it will change too. Why you think companies like Apple Plus and Disney, why they don't make these apps already available in the whole world? Because especially in these times, everybody will want to watch.
Yes, that's an interesting question. It's the same with Disney Plus, of course. I think it has a lot to do with infrastructure. So what is the infrastructure of a country? So the internet speeds and those kind of things, that they first maybe want to test their capacity of their platform.
Romania has the best internet speed in Europe, they say always.
Okay,
so that shouldn't be the problem for us at least.
That shouldn't be a problem. And B is often also deals, so deals that are made with
the distributors,
agencies within that country. So if a lot of their content they want to make or distribute is not able to...
that's what I thought. That's where the problem is, I think. Yeah.
So that's the things I can come up with. There's probably more things, but and maybe they just want to see how it works first. They want to see where mistakes are being made, fails are being made without...
budgetize also then on this amount of countries and this amount of members maybe.
Maybe they have to scale the capacity of their networks, of their server capacity more or less. So they have to build it up slowly. So I think that's all factors that play into it.
Makes perfect sense, but I just hope that it will speed up because of Corona. I thought everybody now wants to pay for a couple of months for all these beautiful channels now that are coming up because there's so much new content coming. We'll see. So maybe we're lucky.
It must be a good reason for it, because otherwise, like Disney Plus, they launched really big in the Netherlands, of course, and also, you would think if you make it a worldwide release, a real worldwide launch, that has a lot more impact and success. But for the reasons we just said, I think those are valid for taking it slowly. But
it makes perfect sense.
How is it with Netflix? Do you know? Because of course Netflix was the first and was not so much being talked about. But I'm not sure if they launched right away worldwide.
No, worldwide. We didn't have Netflix when my friends in Holland all had already. My parents also. Okay. So we had Netflix. I think we have. So I'm living here for 8 years now. We have Netflix, I think, for maximum 4 years. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and also Spotify, for instance, we have it since this year.
Oh really?
So, yeah. It's ridiculous. Wow. Yeah. It takes. It's the East. Maybe they cannot find it. I don't know. We have color television for 2 years now, so that's what they always say, you know. No, but
what I was also wondering about, like, okay, you got now Greyhound coming July 10th. They pay 70 million for it, of course, with the idea that they hope, of course, that there's a lot of people that subscribe to Apple TV Plus foresee that movie. But I wonder if this is the movie that
I don't know. I don't think Tom Hanks, of course, is a leading man, but the also till now I didn't see any promotion for this movie besides the trailers that we found ourselves. But it's also that I look every week for new trailers, but otherwise I wouldn't even hear of this movie, I think, so easily. So no, this is not the movie, and also like the morning show, those kind of shows are not the things that attracts you in the end, I think.
They need a Game of Thrones kind of show.
Yeah, but the problem is also, of course, you need to already it takes a long time to get to the level, of course. You need the whole season already to be out. Yeah. And you saw it with The Witcher, which is on Netflix, I think, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, they also thought they would steal the thunder of Game of Thrones. Well, it never happened, you know?
After 6-7 episodes, I was done.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was done. Yeah.
It was okay, but I felt like, seen it.
Yeah,
nothing anymore.
Exactly.
Difficult. Okay, talking about trailers, I did find a new trailer. It apparently came out just a couple of days ago, June 11th.
Is it more U-boats?
What?
They put some more submarines in there. Or?
yeah, but I didn't see it yet.
You didn't see it yet. Nice. Check it out.
Let me see. This one was shared by Apple, so I guess it's a bit of a new trailer and not just a rehash, because they already had quite a full trailer. Here it comes.
We'll bring hell down from on high.
Congratulations on your first command at last.
We'll always be looking for you, Evie, even if I'm 1,000 miles away.
Air escort to Greyhound. You will now be out of range of air cover for the next 5 days. How many crossings?
My first.
I got some.
Most likely a U-boat.
He's trying to slip under us! Fire!
We have a kill.
Distress rockets, sir.
We have hits directly on the convoy.
The Wolfpack's hunting us.
U-boat, starboard bound!
We've lost 7 ships and 50 souls.
What you did yesterday, gotta stick today.
It's not enough.
Fire is there! Targets disappeared, sir.
Here they come.
What are we gonna do?
We'll bring hell down from on high.
Yeah, July 10th.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, what I find interesting is that the whole tone of the trailer seems quite different than the tone from the former trailers. It seems like, okay, Apple...
It doesn't grab me at all somehow, no? You have the same? Yeah.
I have the same, and I think they made it also with the sound effects.
Yeah. Oh, no, they had it already in the
Okay.
Yeah.
I have the feeling the whole tone of the trailer is a bit different than the one before. Maybe it's the cutting.
To be honest, even the first trailer, it just grabbed me because I thought, Second World War story, the U-boats were very famous among soldiers, the stories, but very unfamous amongst the amateur historian, I think. The story was always, look what I get it. Nice. Oh, not bad.
Hey,
left blonde. Nice, not bad. So the thing is that I think that they are very unacknowledged for their role in the war.
Yeah.
And that's why it was very interesting for me. And I thought for me, Tom Hanks in a Second World War movie, it cannot go wrong. But so the first trailer somehow grabbed me more. But also, if I look back at now, that I think somehow they don't show you. They show you mainly scenes on the boats, but outside. Only some inside of the boat, and mainly in the water and those strange sound effects again from the U-boats. I think they're on purposely, I hope, hiding a lot of very excitement. And knowing Tom Hanks, of course, also that he wrote now the screenplay. I think he also wrote some parts, or at least he produced Band of Brothers, which for me also was like it really focused on the accuracy of the story, which also now is again an actual story. So I think it will focus not on the action; it will focus a lot in the end on the leadership of this guy.
That's what I expect. But the way
but you don't see this in the trailer,
Yeah.
So I think we're just, if I see the trailer, I will think, I don't know. But knowing what they will do for sure, yeah, I will have hope.
Yeah.
So bad trailer.
We're for sure gonna see it and review it sometime soon.
So 10th of July.
10th of July. So we put it in our agendas. We're gonna watch it and we're gonna review it quickly after.
Let us know, guys, what you think of this trailer. Do you agree that maybe it was different than the other one? And if it doesn't grasp you as much as you would like from Tom Hanks, maybe let us know.
Yeah, and what I'm also interested in is are you going to subscribe to Apple TV Plus for this movie?
Because of this movie, exactly. It's a good question. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Then we are going to move on.
Yeah.
Because luckily there is still shows and movies out there that are new and that are hopefully worth watching. We tried 3 of them, I think, this week. I watched Artemis Fowl. You watched Curon.
Yeah.
And there was one more that you watched.
Oh, I watched the movie with David. I always think Blade, but it's David Spain. Yeah, Spain. Sorry, that's. I think of David Blade. That's the magician, no? Yeah, exactly. The other cool guy. No, yeah, it's the Wrong Missy. The movie is called.
Okay.
No.
So those ones we're going to talk about. Shall we start with Curon?
Yeah, I'm a bit scared because I have to choose my words
carefully.
Yeah, carefully also because I don't want to. Let's say I started wanting to do a very negative one.
Well, wait a bit.
Yeah,
Before you get into it, how many episodes did you see? Did you see all? One. Only one.
There's a reason why. Yeah.
And there are 8, I believe.
7 the first season.
7. 1 episode, 1 hour, I think.
A little bit less. I think 50 minutes. I think it was. Yeah.
Okay. Before you tell us what you thought of it, which I can already have a bit of feeling where this is going, take us a bit into the story.
Well, that's the problem. I thought we decided what to watch, and this was the newest thing that was on Netflix, and I thought, okay, I will watch this, but I didn't want to read too much into it.
Okay.
Because the problem is like I already saw a review before, which is I hate sometimes reading reviews before, but because there's so much still to watch, you don't want to also waste your time every time. You know, you want to find, especially if you have a girlfriend or a partner or a boyfriend, you want to find something to watch and not waste a lot of time while trying to find something.
Yeah.
But with this one, I thought, okay, I'm gonna watch. I had time for at least 3-4 episodes, so I will give it a try and just try to go in with an open mind. I knew it had to do something with. It reminded me a little bit of Dark because it was a small village somewhere in Italy.
That's why I said like maybe we should watch this, Koen, because I also saw the trailer. I thought a European production. We should also pay attention to European productions.
Yes.
That Dark is
Especially very good. Yeah.
I thought like maybe this is something there's being talked about. So.
Yeah, and I saw. I think just before Corona began, another very big Italian. It's an Italian-American production, I think.
Okay.
I forgot the name. It's about a drug story, drug wars with the Italians, and an American couple that also goes to Colombia. It's a very international cocaine story. But also, I forgot the name. I'll try to find it later. And that one was very good made. Not my style, but it was like very impressive.
Okay.
Especially the Italian part was very nice. So I thought, okay, I like Italian movies. I like Italian stuff. I'll give it a try. The problem is, so I knew beforehand only that it was a dark series. I remember that, I think you told me this, or I read it somewhere, it was something to do with things are happening in a small town. What's this the nice story about that everybody wants to see now. And I remember it was something to do with science fiction in a not alien way, but in a different way. So I thought, okay, that sounds very interesting. It's my kind of movie or my kind of show.
Yeah.
So I started the first episode, and I had a couple of reactions immediately, which without reading anything about it.
Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
Well, spoilers, I will say. Yeah. So the first reaction was like, "What the hell is going on?" In terms of
that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. It's not always a bad thing, of course, you know. How to say this? The first episode starts with you see a family, a mother and 2 children driving in a car in the middle of the night. At least is what you think.
Yeah.
And They drive through a tunnel, and there is a reason there. It feels like they are driving away from something, and it's not being clear yet at the moment. And then the son has he sits in the front seat next to his mom, and he has a drone in his hands, and he has a really cool glasses that he puts on, and they have some ritual together, some things, so they have to count it off together. And the sister is annoyed, but they still do it because it's a family. And the moment they exit the tunnel and they reach Curon, the window opens, he puts the drone in the air, and the only thing that he shoots for a couple of seconds is the image of a tower, a church, like a really old church tower with like bells in it.
Yeah, I saw something like that in the trailer. Yeah,
exactly. And what I know from episode 1 already, that's something really special. But after episode 1, you still don't know what it is. But that's something. I think a lot of things are centered with the tower. Yeah. Before they reach, it's very, very dark. You don't see anything. You even wonder how the hell, when they're driving, how they see anything. It's a bit too dark, mate, but nice in a way. They enter at a hotel, which the story tells you that it's supposed to be, it is from them. It used to be from theirs even. And then they find an old man in a corner, which turns out to be their grandfather and the father of the mother. And he doesn't give a warm welcome in any way. And the problem is, already from the beginning till here, it doesn't really make sense. It's and it continues the whole episode. I will tell you more about the rest. It's the way. So the cinematography is very nicely made. That's the biggest positive I can give. The way of colors is very dark, but it's really cool. But from that moment on, the music is very poorly chosen because there's a lot of weird Italian trance music put in there. That removes the excitement sometimes and makes it a bit laughable, for me at least, and also for my girlfriend I was watching. She was like, okay, she didn't even want to give it a try for the whole episode. And the problem was that, so they show up at his house, they meet the grandfather, gives them a very unpleasant welcome. And actually, after a couple of seconds, says that without saying hello or how are you, or you find out that she hasn't been back to this house for 70 years. And he says, go back to Milan, where they come from. You're hiding away, most probably from a husband. I still don't know, but that makes sense, I think. And in the end, they sleep. They go to bed, all of them in one room, because the mom is too afraid to sleep without them. And the son has a hearing problem, so he has a hearing device. And it's interesting because he hears things on the attic floor, so one floor above them, and he hears it mainly from the vibrations. Of course, people that are bad hearing or even deaf, they can hear vibrations, of course, even the weekend. And then he puts his finger in, he goes upstairs, he hears sounds coming from a room. There's dripping coming from underneath the door. And you think, okay, there's something now starts to get real, something weird, a monster.
Sounds like I'm being all attentive to your story. Like, then.
Exactly. The problem is actually, if you would say it like this, it would be very exciting. But all the small stuff in between, the acting is not good till now that I saw from all of them. Yeah, the father was okay, but the mom is reminding me of a very bad impression of Kristen Stewart from Twilight. And the mom is too young to be his daughter, and actually too old to be. No, sorry, she's too old to be his daughter, but too young to be their parents. The parents. She looks like wrong there, and she also acts like a girl with like a hoodie up and everything. Some things don't make sense. Whatever. So, and then the grandfather comes, and he says, "We always have leakages. There's nothing," which you already know. This is weird. It's a weird story. Then he pulls the young kid of the 70-year-old boy. He pulls him towards him, and he says, "Listen to this." And you hear a mechanical thing, which means it's a pacemaker. We find out, but it's nothing explained. It's just very odd, which I like. It's cool,
Yeah. Artists is often good. But
that was the first moment I thought, okay, this is cool. I liked it because he was playing good. The grandfather was like, okay, cool. No, and then 5 minutes later, or seconds later, they wake up, and they go to school for the first day because she enrolls them in the school, but he already made clear he doesn't want them there. And it's clearly the reason you have to get the hell out because something is wrong here, whatever. But it's all of that in 10 minutes. It's way too upfront, in my opinion. It's just bam, bam, bam. You're ready. From the first moment, okay, there are ghosts or shadows or God knows what the hell there is here. This house is haunted for sure, you know? And he was talking about don't go to the bell tower. So he's clearly aware of something very bad. Then they go to the school, and then for me the whole show completely evaporated.
Yeah.
And all the children were gone, and I'll tell you why, because it was like Twilight had better high school moments, you know, and they were actually also not that good.
But you like Twilight.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
But then I didn't like it anymore. Don't tell anyone.
Too
Oh, and the
late.
thing is, imagine they're twins, the two children, a boy and a girl, but how do you call it? Two-sided X twins, or I don't know how you call it in English.
Identical twins.
Yeah. So they go to school, and they want to say hi to children. They were like other teenagers, and they ignore them. And the girl gets upset, and suddenly she becomes this super bully, hilly-billy redneck girl, and she kicks two boys in the nuts.
Okay.
And then it's like, hey, I will introduce you. You don't want to introduce me, blah, blah, blah. And then they are going to the class, and they introduce themselves in their class. And she says, I don't care about all of you. I'm from Milan. And it's so teenage high school drama, but so over the top. I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? And then, of course, they have to find the drone, because the drone disappeared at night. I forgot to tell you that story, that the drone disappeared. And at night, they, in the end, they make friends. They go to a party which is next to the lake, which looks a bit like Lake Como. I think maybe they used it even. It's very beautiful. And they are drinking at a certain moment at night, very close to the bell tower. And the bell tower is in the water. And it looks like it was a church, but it's submerged, you know?
Okay.
And then the boy falls in the water. And it's a very exciting scene with music and stuff. But nothing happened. So I didn't understand. It was slow motion. I thought my monster's gonna pull him, or nothing happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the only thing that happens is that she has a moment.
That can sometimes be a good thing also, huh? Subverting expectations. But in this case,
I know. But there was the moment the girl realizes her brother's gone. He's missing, or he's going for that camera. He steals a boat. The girl is drunk, so she's still drinking with her friends at that she hated and kicked in the balls before, so it makes no sense, but whatever. She is having a moment, like Swan has sometimes, and then suddenly she sees herself standing somewhere else in the forest, and there's a wolf. And I really thought of Twilight immediately then, but jokes aside, so it has something to do, I think, with paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the last 45 minutes. So that was the first 45 minutes. Then there's another 5 minutes that I'm not going to tell you because otherwise it's a spoiler. But it's.
So
no.
I'm happy you watched it. That means I think it's quite clear. Bas, don't watch this.
No, I would say I read down some reviews before we had this episode because I wanted to see. Should I I can say that's why I can say based on this episode I would never watch further. It was I'll be honest, it was a very, very bad impression. Yeah. It was, in my opinion, way too upfront. Immediately, so they tried to make it really mystique by beautiful shots. The shots were amazing, nice, very dark. They also were rolling into town with their car through a tunnel. It makes it like
that's what you get from the trailer. It looked quite well. Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen? And then immediately they cut to the chase within 2 seconds. For me, the excitement is gone, but they still try then. The music choice is very bad sometimes, where they use some weird trance music that just didn't match. Right. And then, but I heard that it's maybe worth watching further because. But that was my worst part. They said that the story becomes very exciting. Okay, I can believe that maybe. Yeah. But they say it's mainly about these two twins, this twin couple. But they say that you will really fall in love with them. But what I saw from the first,
it's
never gonna happen. Yeah. So for me, it's like I will give it even a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
And a 1.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
No, seriously, the first episode of 1 out of 5. But
who knows?
It could be a 3 maybe. I would like you to see the first episode actually.
You're a positivist.
Yeah, no, actually, it was. Yeah, it looked like it was very pure garbage, but it could be changeable. But I suggest if you have time, try to watch the first episode. I'm very curious what you.
Yeah, I'm not sure then.
You're like, yeah, good man. First you burn it down, now you say, here you go.
Great sell he did there.
Yeah, sorry. But people that are watching, let me know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I should watch it. Italians, this is your show? Maybe? Tell me.
Is Koen missing something? Is there? Does it really get? Do you agree that the first was bad, and does it get really better, or is it just not that good? Maybe.
No.
Okay, so that's your review of Curon. Shall I take it to mine? Or you want to take first yours?
I thought I'd go further because it has to do actually with the same burning down.
I lost you there for a moment.
Yeah, I saw you also freezing. So no, I thought I will take it further if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Because we're talking about good advice, good sales tip. My girlfriend likes David
Spade.
Sorry, SP, yeah. Because of that sitcom he was used to be back in the day, which is very funny on Comedy Central. They still broadcast it. I like him also as a comedian. He has some good movies, he has some bad movies. And I thought I'd give it a try. The movie is called The Wrong Missy. It's a movie that came out, I think, 2 weeks ago on Netflix, at least here in Romania. It's a movie, it's a typical, it's also produced, I think, by the production company of Adam Sandler.
Yeah, because he always does stuff with Sandler.
Of course. And all the henchmen of Sandler, like Juice Bigelow, all those guys are in it, and they're not really that good in it, especially Bigelow. I forgot his name. Rob Bigelow, no?
Rob Reimer?
Yeah, no, you shouldn't watch it for him. But the trailer was very funny. It's a story about an executive. It doesn't really become clear what for company they have. It's a big company that offers real estate or something like that, and they have to go on a company retreat. And I think it was a while, so that's not clear. But that's not about it. And he wants to get a promotion. It's between him and this very successful woman. And David Spade, you find out that he's recently he lost his fiance. They broke up, and his fiance is a good-looking woman, which is the main actress from Scrubs. You remember Scrubs, the show?
Yeah.
The blonde one. You remember her? Yeah. She's now. I haven't seen her for a long time. It was funny.
Yeah.
So she's the ex-fiance, but they also work for the company. And he's still very attached to her. He has like pictures on his phone, on his laptop. And the other henchman from Adam Sandler, I forgot the name. Nick. I don't think anybody knows his name. It doesn't matter. He plays his colleague, and he knows everything about him. Has the passwords to all of his personal social media and God knows what. So he knows everything before him, which is a very funny twist. And he says, "Man, you gotta go dating." He goes dating, and he finds the worst date in the world, like the worst date. It's a woman that he literally made him run away the first date, and then the moment he is with his leg through the toilet window, she suddenly sneaks up under the toilet and says, "Hey, where are you going?" So yeah, it's a lot over the top, but it was very funny.
Yeah, what do you expect with a David Spade movie?
Of course, but he plays good. The actress that plays the horrible date plays very, very good. But the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes were very funny. And the jokes were good placed.
You laughed out loud.
Yeah, it was good placed, up tempo. And then the story goes that he has to go to a trip on the plane. He goes to the airport in Portland, and then the moment he has to run to go to his gate, he runs with a suitcase. He runs into another woman, and the woman is a beautiful, gorgeous blonde woman. And what the problem is that they both have the same luggage and the same handbags, and they swap in the moment. Of course, that is typical story. They both miss their flights because they realize too late that they don't have the same tickets and everything else. They find each other in the end. They realize they have literally the same brand of suitcase. They read this. They have in their normal handbag. They have the same book that they read. They both are not drinking, not because they're alcoholics, but because they choose to. And they end up in a bar drinking club sodas. And 5 seconds later, they end up in a janitor's closet making out. And just before they're about to do it, she realizes that it's her call for the plane ticket that she bought again. And whatever. Her name is Melissa. He tells the story, of course, to his annoying colleague that knows everything about him. And he texted her, and they start texting, and then he realizes we have to go on this company retreat. My boss there they have a new boss that took over the company, and he's up for promotion, so he has to go to the retreat, and he has to really impress his boss. And his friend said, man, this woman, they found out it's a Miss Maryland. She was a Miss. She's a two-time Olympian, all-star, whatever, medalist of some sports. So she's a super, super woman, you know? And then they say, you know what? We should write her, and you should invite her to come to the retreat. And in the end, he has the guts to do it. So he invites her. You see him in the end sitting up a runway to go to.
Don't give the whole plot away for people.
No. So you see him going in the movie, but I have to tell you this because otherwise the whole movie is about. Nobody's gonna watch this movie because it's really bad. But okay, spoiler.
Give them a chance at least.
Yeah. Okay, guys, spoiler now for 1 second. He goes in the seats. And then at the moment that he's waiting for the woman of his dream to arrive, the other girl shows up because she also is called Melissa and he texted the wrong one.
Okay.
Now then, it's not even a spoiler because this happens very fast. What happens then? He has to go,
more or less.
Sorry?
Or that's the starting point of the movie, more or less.
Yeah, the starting point of the movie, and then the movie goes to, of course, they have to go to the retreat. He has to deal with this woman. And this woman is, of course, like I said in the beginning, she's the nightmare. She's the woman from hell.
Yeah.
She has no nuance, she spills her mouth. The worst woman you can have on a company trip with your boss. So it's a typical story maybe that already is like made a lot of times, but the actress that does a very good job.
Yeah.
So then it's funny, but then, it all goes wrong because the moment they introduced Rob Schneider, that was his name.
Rob Schneider, that's the guy.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
Gigolo. The moment they introduce him as a shark, he is a shark. He's a diving instructor that has only 2 fingers on one side.
Oh, he plays one of those characters again.
Yeah, very fake down on his way, but he looks horrible in the movie. Not only because of the makeup, the guy didn't age that good apparently, and he has jokes that are like. They were funny maybe in the movies like Naked Gun, back in the day, right? Like, with Nielsen, what's his name? But it takes a very wrong turn, and the story ends in a way that I'm not going to tell you, but it makes no sense.
No.
And maybe it does, but no, the movie went to a funny 6.5, maybe maximum a 7, like for a funny afternoon. It went to a 4. So in my opinion, I will give it 2 stars out of 5.
Only when you're a bit having a hangover, laying on the sofa and don't know what to do with your life, then maybe.
Yeah, maybe, even maybe then, yeah.
Great, that completes your reviews. And then we move on to my review. I'm going to review the movie Artemis Fowl.
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I cannot see it yet.
Nee. Well, before I give my review on Artemis Fowl, first a little bit of background information, because I already started hearing about this movie some months ago, because it is storytelling I'm interested in. It's in a bit of the same league as Harry Potter and those kind of like fantasy young adults writing, which I am also interested in, and I like to write a bit myself, which is sometimes also a bit in that style. So I felt like, and this is written by a guy named, an Irish guy named Eowyn Colfer, and he wrote 8 books in total of the Artemis Fowl series.
Okay.
And it is about a 12-year-old criminal mastermind called Artemis Fowl, who leads a criminal empire and finds out that there's a secret world of elves, and then all sort of things start to happen. I never read the books. I know, so I knew that they were there, but I never read them. But apparently, they're a huge success with 20 million copies sold in 44 countries. So it's really a big success. One of the biggest selling fantasy series of all time. So fans were very excited when Disney acquired the film rights in 2013.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh is the director of also the first Harry Potter movie. So yeah, that was quite.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Harry Potter and the Chamber of
Secrets.
Yeah, that's the first one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah, so he was the director, so people were quite excited about that. And then there was also a budget of $125 million. So it's a very
Also not bad. Yeah.
no, very big budget. Well, the movie was supposed to be released in cinemas, but because of Corona, it got pushed and right away to exclusive streaming on Disney Plus, and it got published last weekend. So I watched it yesterday, and now that I've seen the movie, I'm highly doubting if Corona was the only reason why it didn't come in cinemas. I have a bit.
By the way, sorry, he didn't direct the movie. He played in the movie.
Oh, he played in the movie.
Yeah, he played. He played one of the teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so no, I'm a bit doubtful if Corona was the only reason why it went straight to Disney Plus, because I think by seeing the movie that they might have felt that this movie wouldn't do very well in cinemas, because it's not good. It's not.
Honestly, I will let you tell you the story because I'm very curious to your review. But I remember that because I saw the trailer some time ago, and also I thought like I don't think they chose the right way to do this. I never read the stories, but
it's not good at all. I saw the trailer as well. I already heard that there were a lot of fans a bit upset with the trailer because they already had the feeling like, okay, they're not going to do this well. But hey, I never read the books, so I thought like, okay, maybe. I also read that it was a bit criticized in the reviews, but then I thought also like, okay, maybe people know the books and they think it doesn't live up, like with Harry Potter, for example. But I went in
blind.
So I thought like, okay, let's give it a try. But no, it was not a good movie. It was a bit of a mess. And I know that's mostly aimed on younger audience, but I'm pretty sure that if I was 14, I wouldn't find this movie a very good movie either.
Is it a bit like the trailer reminded me a bit of that they don't take it serious enough and they go a bit like into the Percy Jackson, those kind of movies?
I didn't see Percy Jackson, but they don't. They do take it serious, but there is also some comedic relief, but I will come back at that later. So no, the movie is 1.5 hours long, which sometimes can be a good choice because then you can really pace it. But in this case, it was very rushed. They rushed just from moment to moment, from action to action, without giving any time for character development or plot development, or giving you any chance of really caring about the characters.
Strange in the first movie if they might want to make a series out of it, yeah.
That's when it felt a bit for me like, okay, they want to make a series out of it. They just want to introduce this world quickly. Like, okay, here you have the world. Yeah. And now we can create this franchise of a lot of movies, ka-ching, make the cash.
So tell us, what is the story about even then?
I can't really tell you more than what I told you now. I also don't want to give the whole story away, but it is about this kid, Artemis Fowl. His father is also called Artemis Fowl. He's played by Colin Farrell, actually. Okay. And the movie starts out, as I can say, with his father getting kidnapped. And then Artemis Fowl Jr. Has to go after him. And then he finds this secret world of elves. So, no, it goes from moment to moment. Like you said with your review of Curon, I had it a bit with this movie. The music pushes you all the time, like it's action, or it's then it tells you more or less what you should feel, but because but because they don't take the time to actually care about the characters, about the story, I don't feel a thing about it. Like, okay, why there's this epic battle? I feel like this is I'm not invested in this at all. This guy's health dying, and it's clearly I can understand that in the book it's probably a very emotional moment, but nothing. It's just like, I hear the music, but it just makes me laugh that I have to feel that because I don't feel it at all.
But is it because you said that they acquired, because it's a very big franchise then, like the books, they acquired the rights in 2013. Is it also a really troubled project that they switched a lot of directors and writers, or?
No, because Kenneth Branagh was already connected in 2015 at least. So no, I think not really.
They just
No,
made a
the
mistake.
acting is also bad, but it might also be the screenplay. But
Was Colin Farrell even, or?
Colin Farrell was okay, but he doesn't have a super big part.
Okay.
But for example,
The kid
the kids himself, I think it was not great casting.
No.
I think it's a bit rude or how do you say harsh to roast a 12-year-old. I don't know how old he is for his acting. Like he's a child, he still has a lot to learn. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe was also not great in Harry Potter. He's now a much better actor. So I don't want to roast him, but I the only thing that might be that he didn't how do you say convince me of his part. But that's the children, and that's to be expected. But what I found most surprising is that you also have Judi Dench in the movie, and you have Josh Gad in the movie, and they both played a role with a bit of a raspy voice, weird voice. Probably that's in the books, but it was just very laughable the way they did it.
It's not a good year for Judi Dench also with Cats before, and now.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was thinking about. Like she was in another bad movie this year, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's
not a good year for her.
I think, yeah.
And Josh Gad. Do you know Josh Gad? He was also in Beauty and the Beast. He played
He also was in the Transformers, no?
I'm not sure.
Oh no, Josh Gad. Oh yeah, I remember him from that movie with Kevin Hart that he sings really gay every time, like really.
Yeah, he's quite funny, and he was also supposed to be in this movie, the comic relief, but all the jokes were mistimed or just very poorly written. And
he's a snowman he's a snowman in Frozen, of course. Just Gad also.
Yeah. So he is comedic, but it didn't work in this movie. Already from the beginning, he starts with his accent. Let me tell you a story. Like, okay, that's not what I.
That's not what you. No,
that's not what I expect with that guy. Like,
I want to see it now.
And then it gets worse. The CGI was very bad. Like, you got a $125 million movie. And there's a troll in the movie, which is like, a troll is attacking a square where a wedding is going on, and you can clearly see that the troll is animated in, and
really?
That's really bad. Like in these times when you have this budget, I don't get why you don't use motion capture.
The worst, if you're the studio head, you should say, guys, look at District 9. Look what they did with the smallest budget in the world, and look what you guys are doing.
Look, just use motion capture. Like this was clearly not motion capture. It was just animated and very poorly animated. Same was with some sound tower that was in the movie. Also very poorly animated. So so that CGI was bad. Is there something good? Well, there's one character in the movie. This is the roast of Artemis Fowl. I really don't like to be negative about movies, but
but sometimes they have to be. Yeah, exactly.
They have to be, and I really hope that. But now there's one good part in this movie, and that's actress called Lara McDonnell. She plays Holly Short.
Okay.
And she plays quite well, and the character of Holly Short also gets quite a good backstory, so that's also nice. And I actually have the feeling that this character got more screen time than that the Artemis Fowl character had, and I was also more connected to her backstory. So it makes me think a bit like maybe it is that they cut a lot of stuff of Artemis Fowl scenes out of the movie because it was not so good. And they decided to focus the story more on this side character, Holly Short, because it was more or less her movie.
They want to make a show called Artemis Fowl, and they want to have like a show,
a movie,
amount of movies, But
for my sake, they might have called it Holly Short because the movie was more.
That's very strange.
That makes me feel that maybe they had a problem on the cutting floor, and they decided that
the amount. Yeah, also
this is not working, and we're gonna push it more to this character.
No, but also an hour and a half for an introduction movie of like if you want to make a line of movies, an hour and a half is very little.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really have the feeling that also because the Artemis Fowl scenes didn't really work for my case, that maybe they felt like, this is not working. We have to make something else out of this, and they ended up with
so much budget and such a company. They cannot just recast them.
Yeah, maybe once you're too much in, you never know. Of course, there are people that are directors that are maybe too stubborn, like no, this is gonna work, and we're gonna. You never know what goes on behind the scenes. But if I see this movie, it can be that there must have been things going wrong with this production, but because it's clearly like it sets nothing up, and at the end they wrap the story up. And for a moment, I felt like, okay, are they going to continue the story? Because it was very clear that we're going to end the movie and that it's like a setup for a new movie. Yeah. But for a moment there, I felt like, okay, maybe they are going to continue the story now a bit. And then I felt like, okay, if they're going to continue this movie now, I'm not really in for it. But on the other hand, like it might save it somehow. But no, it was the end of the movie. And after this movie, I would be very, very surprised if there's any sequel coming in the future.
I think I saw also the ratings, like they get a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, and from the audience, 23, which is also like historically low. And also, if you say that, it really sounds, I think you're very right in that I haven't seen it, but if they say an hour and a half for an origin story, the first movie, it makes no sense. Right. And that you say that it could have been that Holly, more the Holly person to be the movie. But yeah, it's just I think they just like they did it, and then they will think, okay, you know what, maybe the world is not ready, or we're not ready for this, and then in a couple of years they will just redo it with a proper actor, maybe. Like nothing against the guy, but he wasn't clearly not working for this movie. Yeah.
No, I have that feeling. Yeah, and that's okay. Sad for the guy also, but also like. It might be the script, it might be the directing choices, but however, things went wrong with this movie.
But it's strange because he made also Murder on the Orient Express, I think he made.
Yeah, which I was a bit let down by also. That was one of my most anticipated movies of that year.
Me also a bit, yeah.
By the trailer, and I liked it, but it was not a movie that stood out. Well, I thought from the trailer, like, this is my kind of movie. This is going to be great. Which it also didn't turn out. It was not bad, but like this one. But
what is a movie that was really good that he made? Like he made Thor, also a director, but
the first one.
Also wasn't my favorite Avengers.
I liked personally the first four. I know that it got quite some criticism, but I kind of liked that one.
No, the first one was the one also with they both were with the scientists. And with her colleague, the guy from Chernobyl, Danish actor, Swedish actor, what is his name?
Swedish actor.
Yeah, big fan of him. He's in both first Thor movies.
What did you say?
He's in both Thor movies, the first two.
Yeah, I think so. No, at least only the first one. I think.
Yeah, that's why. The first one also I remember. The first one I liked because it was with him.
Yeah.
He made for the rest Listening the Magic Flute. Actually, I never saw any of these. You saw any of these?
No, I think that's probably acting. Dunkirk, that's I guess acting. Tenet. No, but yeah, it's hard to say who's to blame. Is it the screenplay? Is it the director? Probably if it goes this bad, it's often a combination of a lot of things and just a failed production and behind the scenes things going wrong. And
I'm curious now that we talk about, because you're also a Harry Potter fan, right?
Well, I mostly, I especially like the books. I'm a Harry Potter book fan. Yeah. Okay,
I was clever enough. I was lucky enough to read first see most of the movies, then read the books. Because that's especially for Harry Potter is the best way, because I liked the movies a lot when I was young. For this one I do, because I had nothing against the movies because I didn't know anything, and I was introduced by the cinematic world, so I liked.
True, but you went into the books, like the story you got through the movies, and you went into the books with the images of the movies in your head. While I create my own world.
Of course, that's nice, but that's why movies can rarely live up. If a movie lives up to your imagination, it doesn't even have to be a good movie. It's just also lucky, in a way. Because everybody, of course, has a different way imagination. But no, for Harry Potter, for me, it was an example of that it was good because I read the first. There's 7 movies and
7 movies, 8 books. No, 7 books, 8 movies.
8 movies. I did the last one and 2, of course. Yeah. So I read the first 6 books, 7 books. What did you say?
I think 7.
Yeah, so I read all of them besides the last one. So if there's 7, I read 6 books. No, I read 5, I think. No, sorry, I'm wrong. Yeah, no, I read the first 5. I watched all of the movies. Then I started reading the books, and then when I was at book 5, the 6th movie was about to happen. So movie before the Hello parts. Hello.
Yeah, Deathly Hallows.
Deathly Hallows. Sorry, yeah. And the problem was I saw the last movie was out when I was also Spam was in. I was in New York. Spam was also in New York, and I saw the last movie I saw in New York, and it didn't get to me somehow. I was very disappointed because the book was so much more. Especially they cut a lot in the movie compared to the book. I didn't like it all. But then we some time ago, I think last December, we had them on. They were all on HBO here. Yeah. And I started watching them again, and then I loved them.
Yeah, no,
I appreciated them way more because that's the problem, with some things that they, the imagination is so much more, so they can never comprehend that,
Exactly. No, I also really like the Harry Potter movies, but Harry Potter books were for me amazing, and just like I was completely in this world and I could imagine it completely, and then it can't live up because it is. I imagine it very British, real British, and it was still produced in a bit of a Hollywood way, and it was too Hollywood for me. And I imagined it much smaller and more charming, and
exactly. More the Molly, the Weasley kind of world.
Exactly. More London and less spectacle.
No, exactly. But the reason I bring this up is because I was wondering, because you're talking about this big production is clearly this big franchise that clearly now had a big fiasco, actually. What do you think of the movies, the recent Harry Potter movies, the one about the Grindelwald and Fantastic Beasts?
Enjoyable,
but not.
No. Actually, I saw the first one in cinema. I liked it. And my girlfriend liked it more. She wanted to see the second one also in cinema, and I think we did see the second one in cinema actually. But for my sake, I felt like like they have this it's a very thin story, of course, from the Harry Potter books, and made it into now. I think they're gonna make 5 movies out of it, and you can tell that it's just a forced money-making machine.
Exactly, and the first movie was the second movie was already better, but the first movie was the whole story didn't make sense to me. The storyline, it was just.
The second was better. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. No, so I think for Artemis Fowl, we don't have to expect any sequels.
What is the number in the end?
Huh?
What is your number in the end for the movie? We have to do it.
Yeah, out of 5.
Yeah.
Half star.
Half star?
Yeah, for Holly Short.
Oh, this is bad. I thought my ratings were bad today, but
no.
Okay.
No, I was really like, God, you can't do this. Like, you got $125 million to spend on a movie. Like, my God, I'm not going to say that I'm going to make a better movie, but my God, that much money, and then you come with this. Like, yeah, of course, it's just business. It's people. I get it, but it's just.
It was funny because this reaction you have now was my first immediate reaction after leaving the cinema seeing Man of Steel.
Yeah. Okay.
You got Henry Cavill that nobody knows yet, but you got like Russell Crowe. You have all these. You have Hans Zimmer. Like, what the hell are you doing? Christopher Nolan was a producer, for God's sake. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, so see it.
Okay.
I would say.
I want to see it now because sometimes I like it.
I still want to see it.
It was the same for like the Green Lantern, also in my opinion a horror movie, but I still enjoyed it somehow watching it. I want to see it.
I want to see that sometime.
It's a nice movie, but if you really don't know what to watch, you watch bad movies sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's no.
Okay.
Let's end it with that. I can't end it on a positive note, sadly enough. But maybe there are people out there. Let's be honest. I am maybe also not the target group. So maybe for the younger audience, if you're watching, let me know. Maybe it worked for you. Maybe there's also older people that said like, "Hey, it worked for me. I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy up here." Might also be that you read the books, you think like, yeah, you're not getting it, but it's really all in that movie. Could be. Or do you say,
write in the comments, let us know.
let us know. If you found it's not so good, also let us know in the comments. I think that completes it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching the show, and we hope to see you next week. See you soon. Next week, actually, we're going to talk about Dark, a series we very much like. A series we got a lot to talk about.
Before we go, so I finished the second season. No spoilers, but I'm very frustrated that I have to wait till next Thursday. No?
You listen to you. You just have to wait for 1.5 weeks. I finished this.
I want to understand. I want to understand.
I'm stuck with those questions for months now. You have to refresh my memory. I lost it all a bit. So we're gonna make a recap video. You're gonna tell me what happens there, so I can go.
I don't understand anything anymore now, so I really have to prepare.
Prepare. Yeah. Keep it.
What the series doesn't do, I will try to keep a red line.
Good. Yeah. And because next week we're going to have season 3, so it's going to be a bit dark-oriented weeks. We're going to do a recap. We're going to do a review of season 1 and 2. Hear what you found about it, and then later on we're going to also do a review about season 3. But there's of course more. The world of cinema, the world of movies is always in movement. Movies might get pushed. Movies might appear again. Let's see. There's always things to talk about. So that's what we're going to do in the upcoming weeks and week. Yep. We do this each week. If you like it, if you like what we talked about today, like this video. Do you want to hear us talking? Keep us here talking. Hit that subscribe button. Write in the comments also everything you like. We like to talk with you about movies. That's why we come together in the International Movie Friends. That's it for now. I say thank you. I say thank you, Koen. And see you next time. Adieu.
See you next time. Ciao.